and welcome everyone to the AI Accelerators podcast. So, in today's episode, we have Gaurav Sonawane with us, who has recently joined Accelerate as a fresher, and he's working as a test automation trainee, and he has already gotten himself certified as a UiPath software test engineer professional. So we're gonna talk to him about his certification journey. So welcome, Gaurav.
Yes, thank you. I am really happy to be here and share my experience.
That's great. So, what was your first reaction when you were introduced to UiPath testing?
So, at first, it honestly felt overwhelming. UiPath is a very powerful tool, but when you are new at this, everything looks confusing. The activities, workflow, orchestrator, selectors, the whole testing framework. It's felt confusing to me. Earlier, I had always worked more in oriented way, so manually testing my own project. At that experience taught me something important. Even the best written code doesn't create value unless the end user has a smooth experience. So when I started learning UiPath automation testing, I carried that mindset with me. I knew I had to start with the scratch and give time to understand how UiPath works. So yes, that's when I have introduced to UiPath and started learning the UiPath automation testing.
I see. It's really great that you have realized this early on, that the end user needs to have the best experience, and this is all done for the end user.
Yes.
So, since your certification is for a software test engineer, how was the learning curve in test automation?
Test automation was a challenging but interesting. There were some prerequisites to be done before starting this course, the Automation Developers Associate training, and then I started with automation workflows, understanding the test case, test data, and the validations. One thing is, one thing I learned is that theory alone is not enough. You really need to practice instead of just following the tutorials and start building workflows on your own. Even the small workflow like validating UI elements, handling exceptions, or running the test case help me to understand UiPath better. When you're building something yourself and face errors, that's where the actual learning happens. Gradually, I learn the concepts and getting those concepts in real life projects.
Right. So, talking about UiPath, how did you start learning UiPath?
I actually started with UiPath Academy because it's the best place for beginners. The way they structure the courses is really good. Everything is step by step and clear and easy to follow. And they provide check your knowledge quizzes to the every modules. So that's a very great platform to learn. But one thing I noticed while learning that uh, UiPath updates the tools very frequently. The new features, UI changes, improvement and activities. Because of this, sometimes the activity videos take a little more time to get updated, and it's completely understandable. One On the other hand, the UiPath documentation updated much faster, almost immediately, whenever there is a change. So what I realize is that best approach is to use both the academy for structural learning and the documentation for staying up to date for the latest changes.
That makes a lot of sense. So, can you share your experience about working with Studio, Test Manager, Orchestrator, robots? How has it been?
Actually, for testing, it's a end-to-end workflow. So this part was one of the biggest challenge initially to understanding how everything connects. Uh, we use UiPath Studio Desktop to build test automation. This is where we create test cases, workflow, validations. assertion, and handle exceptions. We use frameworks like BDD frameworks and all. And also in Test Manager, it's the cloud-based platform of UiPath Automation Cloud or Test Cloud. In Test Manager, we first add requirements. Based on those requirements, we create test cases and group them into a test set. Once the automation is ready, we can publish it from UiPath Studio to the Orchestrator. Orchestrator manages the packages and environment and robots. Uh, about the robots, attended and unattended are connected through Orchestrator. When we run a test set from Test Manager, UiPath automatically triggers execution through Orchestrator, assign it to the robot, and updates result back in the Test Manager. Once I understood this end-to-end workflow, UiPath testing becomes much more smoother and clearer for me.
Got it. Right. So, Gaurav, I wanted to know from like a fresher's point of view who's also into UiPath testing, how do you see UiPath testing evolving with agentic automation?
Yes, so talking about agentic automation, I see UiPath testing evolving in a very exciting way with agentic automation. UiPath agents are becoming much smarter now. Instead of just following the fixed steps and just following the workflow, we can actually use this agent inside the workflows to think on the uh, think on their own and decide what to do next. In testing, this is a big game changer. Applications don't behave the same way every time. So screen changes, anything, and like pop-up appears. Data behaves differently. With agentic automation, the test automation doesn't fall immediately. The agent can understand the situation and take the right action, just like a real user. So this means test will become more reliable and flexible.
That's a really great point of view. So, why don't you tell us a little bit something about how you practiced and prepared for this particular certification exam?
For the certification exam preparation, I first used the practice tests provided as a part of certification. Those practice tests really helped me to understand exam pattern and the type of question asked. Along with that, I personally like to using AI tools like ChatGPT and Gemini for learning. UiPath documentation is openly available. So what I used to do was share the official documentation link to the AI tools and ask them to create the question based on that content. So this helped me in two ways. First, it tested my understanding of documentation, and second, it made my revision interactive.
Wow, Gaurav, I think that's a really great tip for anyone preparing for examinations, like the certification examinations. Just asking ChatGPT to generate some questions for you. That's great. So, what were the biggest challenges you faced during this training?
The biggest challenges were first one was like understanding the UiPath concept from zero. Like when I enter at Accelerate, I have not much familiar with the UiPath concept. So for any freshers, the understanding the UiPath concept is one of the challenge. And also one challenge is like keeping up with frequent tool updates. The UiPath gradually update these tools, like some activity changes and some UI changes. So you have to be stay updated with the documentation, and also debugging errors when workflow didn't work. At first, debugging is consumes lots of time, but there were moments when things don't work and it was frustrating. Having some break keep your mind fresh, and that are the small things generally I prefer.
I see. So, what was your overall experience preparing for this exam and clearing this exam finally?
It felt really good, not just because I passed, but because I knew I actually understood the concept. It gave me lots of confidence that I can handle the real project. It's not just exam. The certification requires both conceptual clarity and hands-on experience. Because I practice workflow, refer the documentation, I felt more confident. Clearing the certification was not just about passing the exam. It gave me confidence that I had actually learned something valuable, and it will be really benefits for near future for me.
That's amazing. So, Gaurav, what are the key lessons you would like to share with others who are also maybe, preparing for this certification, or maybe they're in the same boat as you, they're also, freshers and very new to this?
The key lessons I would say, like it's okay to be start as a beginner or a fresher, even no one knows the everything from start. And also, don't depend only on videos. Prepare documentation over the frequent updates. And also, practice is more important than theory, as we all know. And learning a new technology takes time, but it worth it. So you have to be stay consistent, and whenever you giving time to that learning something, so it will gradually growing your knowledge. Yes, that's the ways, the key lessons anyone can prefer.
Thanks, Gaurav. That was really insightful and practical. I think this can be really helpful for anyone who is, in the same boat as you. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in.
Yes, yes, thank you so much. It really means a lot, and I'm really felt good to be here. Thank you.